Hello, welcome.
Hello.
We're so excited to announce and to start our podcast, which is called
Students in Distress. DEstress.
Exactly.
So not the usual distress you think about.
Because we have enough of that.
Yeah, we're trying to de-stress. So basically it also encapsulates the idea of our project where we're actually, trying to, chill for a moment, calm down a little and just maybe rant a little, move away from the de-stress and go into the DE.
Exactly. We're going to talk a bit about struggles and also about advice.
And it's going to be focused on, students from our own university, so University of Groningen.
Exactly.
And both their advice and struggles, so we can keep it also a little bit lighthearted.
Exactly. Also because we are not in any way professional, so this is not in any way
a
replacement for professional help.
Yes, I mean, I would love to be a professional, but
we're
still
just
not at that stage.
It's just the experiences students have.
Giving a platform.
Advice from students to students, and just have some fun. And actually, I hope that it might help students and that there might be listeners who think, oh, there are more people struggling with this.
Exactly, yeah.
So just feeling seen. If we can manage to make you feel seen and heard, goal accomplished.
Exactly.
Mission accomplished. So that's what we want to do.
So who are we? You first. Tell us who you are.
Well, my name is Aline. I'm still 24 years old, almost 25, getting old. And from my age, you can maybe tell that I have been a student for quite a while. And
so you're very experienced.
I am very experienced, exactly. I'm very proud of it.
Yes. No, so you're an asset to this project.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I can just tell a bit about how that came to be. So after high school, then in the Netherlands, I'm Dutch, by the way, then you're 18 years old. And then I didn't know what to do, and I took a gap year. I worked as an au pair in Sweden, which was a lot of fun, actually. And then I started studying in Amsterdam. It was called psychobiology, and I just didn't like that so much. So after half a year, I quit. And I actually felt a bit lonely in my room, like after the au pair year. And then I started working for half a year. And in 2018, I started my bachelor's here in Groningen, and I started studying psychology. I liked it that much that I even took some extra courses, and I ended up doing it for 3.5 years. Then I took another half gap year, traveled a bit, because I had just done my thesis, and I felt I can't do another thesis directly after this. I just needed a break. And then, like last September, I started my master's in applied social psychology. Wow. And now we're here. And you? Who are you?
I'm Ivan, and I am from Bulgaria. So I decided to first do my bachelor's abroad, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago now. So I arrived here in the Netherlands, and I did it in English language and culture. And I also did my minor in Korean studies, and I went on an exchange to South Korea during that time as well. And then now I applied for a research master's in arts, media, and literary studies. And I'm currently in my first year doing that and specializing more into literature and contemporary fiction.
Yeah. And if you now hear our two stories, it sounds a bit weird that we know each other. How did these two people come together?
Where did you meet?
Yeah, exactly. So maybe we can tell a bit about that.
Yes.
So we're doing a workshop, which...
Yeah, at the Honors College, because we're kind of overachievers, maybe, where we're...
Maybe, that's why we need to do a podcast about
Again, yeah, exactly, because we are both are doing a lot of extracurricular stuff.
Yeah, but for me, it's also to have some variation. It's not that I really want to do extra stuff, because actually I postponed my thesis to manage all of this. So it's just something different.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it, at least. Yeah.
But we did meet in one of workshop of our classes.
Exactly. That was related to the honors college.
And we did talk a little bit about our own struggles. You know, that's kind of how we met each other about our projects in general.
Exactly. Because the thing is, this podcast is related to a project that we do for the honors college. It's called Masterwork, and we're both wondering about what we wanted to do, and then we met in this workshop, and I had actually a podcast on my list, but I didn't know what I wanted to do, what kind of topic I wanted.
Yeah.
And then actually you also want to do a podcast.
Yes.
But you had a very specific idea already.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure how I would execute it, but I really wanted to have some platform about students just talking about like how they're struggling, because I felt like there's kind of underrepresentation of that, and people don't have these platforms where like they can talk more about it. And one of your ideas about a masterwork was actually interviewing people in a video format, but you know, still there were quite similar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My idea was to go on the streets and ask random people about their meaning of life or something. But when you came with this idea, I thought, okay, I really feel drawn to this. I want to do it. I think it's important. And then we just teamed up, and we also talked a bit about our own struggles, because we all have them, right? So is there anything that you're struggling with now?
Well, it was interesting because, you know, when we met, I was struggling with the idea of a masterwork. Now I'm kind of struggling with mainly just meeting a lot of deadlines and just organizational stuff, because sometimes you have so many things going on at one time that these deadlines keep piling up, and it might not necessarily be only about academic and university stuff, but when I combine them, for example, with moving as well, because these months I'm going to move as well, so there are like these deadlines, and then like flights, but then administration and organizing
everything combined.
Yeah, exactly. So it's combined with the academic deadlines, which both of us have a lot. It's kind of been taking a toll on me. Yeah. What about you? Are you struggling?
No. No.
Yes, I mean,
not at all.
Wow, I've never met someone like you. Wow.
I mean, my life is perfect.
Wow, you heard it here first.
I mean, I have a good work-life balance. I'm getting straight A's, and I sport, and I eat healthy.
Then
everything.
What are you doing here?
No, that's not true. Well, I think it's a bit of the same. It's partly because I like a lot of things, and I've said yes to a lot, but I do notice that it takes a lot of time and a lot of energy, and it's good that we have holidays in a few weeks, because if I would continue like this, I would probably burn out. Yeah, so that's one of the struggles, like the stress, having much to do. Another struggle is that sometimes it's hard for me to keep a healthy sleep cycle.
Yeah.
Also,
well, they're kind of related, actually.
Yeah, I was actually thinking ahead. But the thing is, when you have a lot of work to do, that you end studying late. And then you feel like, oh, I really want to have some time for myself.
Right.
And then you end up taking that time, but you end up taking it in the evening, and then you go to bed late, and then sometimes you need to get up early, and then you don't have enough sleep, and then you're tired, and it's a kind of a negative cycle.
Yes, and it just keeps piling up.
Yeah, exactly. So that is the main struggle, actually. So yeah, those are the things that we are struggling with, but like in this podcast, we'll also talk about other struggles
and how you are struggling, you, our listeners.
Exactly.
You are probably students as well.
Yeah. And how did we find it out? I mean, we could have gone on the street and ask them. But
Yes.
that's actually not.
We were suggested this actually.
Yeah, true.
But we wanted to make our project a little bit more scientific and a little
Yeah.
bit more research driven, because I mean,
Yeah.
just asking someone on the street,
Yeah.
okay, do you want to
Yeah.
also come on our podcast?
Well,
Come on.
we did a questionnaire, but I want to mention it's not in any way an academic questionnaire. It's more like
it's mostly doing research into the students at our own universities
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
how they're feeling.
Yeah. So we made a questionnaire with questions about what are you struggling with, and then also questions about what is your advice to other students, and also how did you cope with the struggles
Yes.
you had. So we got a lot of input, and we actually also sent a questionnaire to study advisors to ask them about what they see students struggling with and what their advice is. So we will also take input from that.
Yes, who are also very helpful and responsive as well, which we want to thank them for, because sometimes maybe with students it's a little bit easier to reach out about doing these kind of inputs, where for them, I mean, their schedules are super busy, right?
Yeah, we actually got a lot of useful comments, and I hope we can discuss them.
Yes,
and
later.
We also use the questionnaire actually to find guests, because it will not just be us on this podcast. There will be others. So what we did, we arranged the themes of the questionnaire that we found, and then we asked in the questionnaire, do you want to be a guest? And there were actually, I think, 5 people who wanted to be guests, and we chose the 2 of them who fit the themes that we saw the most. So that's how we chose our guests, basically.
Yes, so there are going to be 2 students in the next 2 episodes where they can talk a little bit about their own experiences as individuals and students.
Exactly.
Where they can mention both their struggles and advice.
Yeah, and in addition to that, we also wanted to have a bit of a different perspective, maybe somebody who has already been a student. And we are going to talk to an expert on well-being, actually, and I'm very curious about her advice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then finally, we're going to have our final episode that actually does focus on the questionnaire input in depth.
Yes.
Where we can mention more about your own input.
Yeah, we decided to do this because we felt that not every comment would come up in the conversations that we're going to have.
Exactly.
So there are probably still going to be things that we still want to mention at the end, and that is what the last episode is going to be reserved for.
Yes,
so,
and as a disclaimer, we just want to mention that all the input has been anonymized, ethically stored and received. So all the people that gave their responses also gave their consent to some of their anonymous comments being read out into the podcast.
Yes.
To have their voice heard, which is our aim.
Exactly. And also the answers will be removed after we've recorded this.
Yes.
So I'm just curious about
how this goes.
Yeah, that as well. But also about what the guests have to say and what we can learn from them. And actually, I just really hope that the listeners will enjoy it and maybe take something from this and learn something from this, feel seen, like I said before.
Yes.
So yeah, let's go. Let's get started.
Finally, just one final thing.
Oh, you want to say something more?
Well, if you want to reach out to us, we have our email, which is studentsindistress, DEstress, at gmail.com. So if you have anything you want to share to us, maybe some feedback, etc., or advice, or maybe your own struggle that you just want to express to us, please feel free.
Just need to say that won't make it into any episode anymore, because we will first record them and then publish all episodes at once. But as Ivan said, you can leave a comment, you can leave your thoughts. That would make us happy.
Yes.
So let's get into this. Let's get started.
Yes. See you in the next
See
episode.
you.